Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is Michelle, and who's here with me?
It's JD.
It's JD. It's always JD.
It's also Michelle in review. Michelle in review. Michelle in review. We gotta get that music made for these episodes. We should call Josh and Paul and just be like, could you record us just a stupid thing where you're just saying Michelle in review over and over? We could make that happen.
Oh, I have some good news for you. I recently found another, which I'm Googling as I talk. I found a music making site called BandLab that it does that DJ thing where you just have access to instruments and tracks and all this stuff, and you can just kind of mix it together. And I did a very simple intro for our Don't Make Me Watch That, and I could probably do a Michelle in review now.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Did you verify that there was no AI involved in that stuff?
I mean, it's just piano sounds.
Oh,
I used to have a program like this.
It's not like you give it a prompt and it just generates some shit.
No, I'm sure it's okay. Everything else where I see an AI option on there. That's not what I'm using. No, it's yeah.
Any kind of creative software I hear about now, I'm just like, Christ, we got to go through and make sure all of this stuff is, or at the very least, if there are AI options, that you have them turned off. It's what a fucking world we live in. Anyway, no, I don't mean to get all serious about it, but
no, it's I used to have a very similar music program on my computer just to mess around with, and I have never been a musician. I was never anybody who was going to put music in the world, but I'm like, maybe I could do a Michelle in review. We could test some stuff and see how it goes.
Do you mind if I take a stab at it?
Yeah, for sure. I can send you this. I just have to go remember the name. I think it was...
It's not important right now, Michelle. We're recording an episode. Did you forget? I forgot for a minute.
No, I guess maybe a little bit.
So let me, as I like to do on all of these, first of all, if it's your first time tuning in, hi, thanks for checking it out. These Michelle in Review episodes, I think, are just a good place to get to know us and the kind of stuff that we enjoy. Also... this is the episode where we go through and talk about a ton of shit that we didn't talk about during the rest of the month, because we do all those episodes about specific movies. And it's also our monthly celebration of the absolutely insane amount of content that Michelle consumes. Again, Michelle, for anybody who might be listening for the first time, tell them all about the insane amount. It's the only way to say it. I'm saying it exactly the same again because it's the insane amount of content that you consume.
Well, unfortunately, August numbers do not reflect my typical standards, which is that I have to watch or consume 60 pieces of media, and that would count as one movie, one entire series of a TV show would be 1 point, or one book. In August, I am halfway through many books right now, and none of them were completed, so I couldn't actually count them. So my numbers for August are only 48, which is 44 movies, one miniseries or TV show, and 3 books.
And I always like to point out immediately, make sure you pay attention there. If she watches a series, the season counts as one thing. How many episodes were in the series you watched this month, Michelle?
Oh, I was worried you were going to ask me that because I didn't actually go look at which one it was. I have a summary in the database I created for myself. I have a little pivot table extension.
But anyway,
I can tell you.
Even if it's like Mike Flanagan's Haunting of Hill House is 10 episodes, they're all an hour long. It's 10 hours worth of content. That's a solid anywhere from 4 to 6 feature films. She counts that as one thing. I've been harping on her for months to change that.
I just figured out what the one thing that was a TV show, season, or miniseries. I had forgotten. It was Virgins. Great fucking show. Season 1, it's a bunch of people who are older and still virgins and dating, and it's a reality TV show thing of them like trying to date in a modern world where people are just like really uninterested in dating a virgin.
Is it actual reality TV or is it a show pretending to be reality? Like I don't even know what that some kind of meta reality
like
TV
90
thing.
Day Fiance, like something that like it's heavily scripted but trying to be true.
No, something where it's like literally it's a sitcom, but the sitcom is these people, like it's a fake reality show, like entirely fake.
No, this is a reality show.
Like I thought it was like a 30 Rock thing where it was a TV show about a TV show.
No, there's actually a woman's story in here that like, there's a couple of them where I got a little bit emotional. It's a really good TV show.
I think I would be better off avoiding that show. That's probably for the best.
It's there's one girl who she's a virgin, but she's real kinky. She watches a lot of porn and she's like, I know what I want. I want somebody to like tie me up and stuff. And they're like, girl, you haven't even had sex yet. And she's like, but when I do, just you wait.
Yeah, that
it's really funny.
It does seem like the kind of thing that maybe you want to work your way up to, no matter what you especially if you think you know, but you haven't tried anything yet.
Yep. It's a real good show. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
But the reason I went to look was it's 6 episodes, 42 minutes each.
Yeah, so 6 times 4, 252
so roughly
minutes.
4 points otherwise.
Yeah, that's like 252 minutes. That could be 3 feature films, right? That's a little over 4 hours.
That's partially why I don't watch as much like TV, because I want to consume more stuff.
I guess
movies
3
faster to get those numbers up.
Yeah. I guess 3 feature films at 4 hours. You got 80 minutes 3 times. But, anyway,
I love
that's
that we always debate the metrics at the beginning, and I'm still refusing to give in.
I feel like you're shortchanging yourself with your numbers and then creating situations where you feel less accomplished because you don't give yourself enough credit for what you did see.
I know, but I did play a couple of video games in August.
Sweet.
So and that took up some of my media consumption time. Sometimes I have to choose, like, am I in a video game mood? Sometimes, yeah, I am. And one of them I will be talking about in this episode.
Sweet.
So.
All right. So we always break the episode down into a variety of segments. Sometimes some of the segments are here and some aren't. Just depends on what Michelle has put together for us. What are our segments today, Michelle?
Yes, so our segments. First off, we have this month's releases, aka Future Frights. Then we have news, which is just a quick list of anything I heard about and was interested in. I've stopped kind of putting just like general, like, this is getting released kind of stuff, unless it's something I'm real excited about or like an announcement for something we're not getting for years. Then we have horror in the aftertimes, aka new horror, aka post-COVID horror. Horror in the before times, which is older horror or pre-COVID horror, non-horror, and literature.
All right, so we're going to talk about all those things today. Yeah. I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about too. I have how many movies and TV shows are you going to talk about today, Michelle? Do you think probably about 20?
Oh no, it's actually a pretty like pared down list.
Okay.
It's just the ones I want to talk about are pretty like I have a little bit of a discussion with them. So
I have
not like bopping around with a lot of like recommend this, like more like I saw this and I watched it twice kind of stuff.
I have 2 movies that I'm going to talk about in this episode. And they are the only 2 movies I saw this whole month that we didn't watch to talk about on the show. And technically, I even saw one of them September 2nd. So it wasn't even an August movie. It was September 4th as we record this. But, it's been a month. Well, and I'm also watching Creep Shows, trying to get those in because we're recording that for Creep Shober, our month-long October event coming up this year. But enough jibba jabba, Michelle. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about future frights.
Yes. One quick thing, just in case this is somebody's first time tuning in and they're like, this chick is crazy. I should also point out that part of what cut into my movie watching time is that I did a lot of the Squelch Files, which for those unfamiliar is my gallery that is available on our website, and it includes all subtitles that say squelching, squelches, or squelched, or squelch, singular. And I was feeling very stressed out, and my default is to just go do squelches and like turn off my brain for a while. So I squelch hunted quite a bit, and I added 350 to the website. So now we are up to 2,739.
That 2,739.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like I said, it was a kind of a difficult month. The numbers don't reflect it, but college is hard.
And so you make it harder by occupying yourself with even more shit?
The thing is, like, I can't just sit and relax.
I know.
I can't. I have to be doing it. So, like, my relaxation is just mindlessly, like, hunting squelches. And, like, if you give me a mindless spreadsheet project, I created a whole database for the dog rescue that I volunteer for that contains all of their applicants in like different views, and like these people need access to this information. Like, I gave myself a gigantic project, and it was very fulfilling, and also one of the most entertaining things I did that year.
Michelle masturbates to pivot tables.
Oh my God. Give me a pivot table. Don't say the word pivot table around me. Pivot table ejaculation over here.
Oh my God. All right. Future frights. Let's get to it, Michelle.
Future frights. So quite a bit of things, which I am excited about. Actually, quite a few things that are mainstream releases. We're starting to get prepared for October. So when I was going through this list, I was like, hey, I can leave some stuff off this list because it's pretty long already. I don't need to talk about The Conjuring Last Rites. I'm going to see it. I'm not thrilled about it. In a different month, it would be notable. But this month, I've already got quite a few things on the list that I am legitimately excited about. Right in the middle of the month is where things get very busy. Starting September 11th, which so many movies are coming out on September 11th this year, and I don't know why, but every time I look at my calendar of releases, I do just go like, we're allowed to release movies again?
Never forget.
Never forget. So September 11th is a movie called Adulthood, which is a horror comedy starring Kaya Scudel. Oh, I never learned how to say her name out loud. Scodelario. And Josh Gad, who I've been a fan of Kaya since she was in Skins, so like 12 years ago. And I just realized I've never said her last name out loud before.
And Josh Gad, he's the guy who was, he was Gaston's lackey in the live-action Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Is that the guy?
Yep, and he's Olaf in Frozen.
Right.
And he's somebody in Angry Birds.
I think he was a stand-up for a while.
Yeah, I also am 90% sure that he's in that Lupita Nyong'o zombie movie that I absolutely love. That takes place in... Hang on, now I have to go. I'm just going to do Control F. Little Monsters. I was right. He's Teddy McGeagle in Little Monsters. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. Great.
I promise you there's no ADHD involved in this podcast.
No, definitely not. And I did not, I'm not running on 3 hours of sleep in the last 36 hours.
Why?
I've only slept, JD, process that though. I've slept 3 hours in the last day and a half.
Oh, I know. I know how that goes.
That's a little bit of like why I'm everywhere today.
No, that's cool. We all get through how we get through, man. But yeah, we do tangent quite a bit from time to time. I've started to notice that more.
You've started to notice I've been hyper aware of it. So completely unrelated to adulthood, go watch Little Monsters from 2019. Lupita Nyong'o is like one of the best actresses out there, and it gives her a completely different character to play, and I might go rewatch it. But Adulthood, the movie coming out this month, is the IMDb description, which I've decided is just the easiest way to describe these ones, because obviously I haven't seen it. It's hard to summarize a movie where I'm just going off of the trailer and the IMDb description and trying to explain why I got hyped about it. But the description for this one: siblings Megan and Noah discover a dead body long buried in their parents' basement, sending them down a rabbit hole of crime and murder. That sounds fun.
Crime and murder, as if to imply that murder itself is not a crime.
I would argue there are many times it's justified.
I can think of a few in the past and in the future, but
Yeah, I mean, plus, like, let's say this murder happened on a boat. Where's the crime? They're on international waters. They are specifying we are abiding by a country's laws. This is a crime. I think that at a certain point you can go into the ocean far enough that if you stab somebody to death, you can straight up tell people and be like, according to the ocean rules, I'm fine.
Michelle,
Poseidon don't give a shit.
Michelle, are you aware that that's exactly what the United States did this week? They launched an attack on a ship in international waters, claiming it was a drug trafficking ship, killed 11 people on board, completely in violation of a variety of international laws, but it's in international waters, and so that they're playing that side, that there's like nobody has any jurisdiction there. And of course their argument is also, we were keeping ourselves safe because they were bringing all these drugs to the United States and somebody has to do something about it. Like, you just described exactly what happened this week.
My brain is quickly rifling through so many responses because I had no idea. I keep up to date on the news. It's not like I avoid the news. That just did not hit my algorithm in any way, shape, or form. But what I will say is I'm realizing I would make a great fucking politician. I would come up with so many. Yeah, that too. Don't even get me started. I had therapy today. Oof, there's a lot of woo-woo stuff out there that I'm into. But a lot of woo-woo I'm into. Anyway, Adulthood. Don't kill people on ships. We watch Shudder. Do not condone maritime laws that allow you to murder a whole boatload of people. And I'm gonna go read about that later and get real sad. But in the meantime, this horror comedy has me excited and has me laughing. Ha ha ha. Nothing to be sad about. The next day, September 12th, we get a legit horror movie, which I say legit, serious horror is actually what I mean. Like, horror comedy is, I'm not going to be scared. I know I'm not going to be scared. These other things, potentially. September 12th, Rabbit Trap, which is a folk horror starring Dev Patel. Dev Patel, also somebody I was a huge fan of in Skins, so that's a funny connection that I did not realize until right now. And also my all-time favorite movie used to be Slumdog Millionaire, and that was a Dev Patel flick. So I love Dev Patel, and everything he's in I am down for. I know The Green Knight was kind of controversial. I liked it. So the IMDb description for Rabbit Trap: married couple Daphne and Darcy Davenport. What a fucking crazy couple name. Daphne and Darcy Davenport.
Daphne Davenport is a great name.
It is, but Daphne and Darcy Davenport are two musicians, oh, that explains it, who moved from London to a cottage in Wales to complete their new album. By accident, they record a mystical sound never heard before and gradually disconnect from reality. With the bit that I know about this, and I've been just seeing a lot of like early reviews from people who, got to see the screener before any of us normal people, it's getting really, really good reviews, and I think you would really like this one, JD.
What's the name of it again? Something about a rabbit trap?
Yes, Rabbit Trap is exactly correct.
Oh, right on. Then I did catch it. I thought it was...
Yeah.
I thought Rabbit Trap was a part of it, but no, that sounds pretty wild. It does also sound somewhat reminiscent of a movie that came out back in, it was released on the internets back in January, called Invoking Yell, which is about a black metal band from, I want to say, Colombia. It goes out into the wilderness, into the woods to record their demo, and accidentally opens something up, or something happens and one of them goes crazy, and maybe it had something to do with the black metal and the stuff in the woods, or maybe she was just a psychopath. But no, I'm into that whole kind of vibe. We'll see how it goes.
Sweet. I will let you know, because I don't know if it's going to be playing at our local theaters. If it does, I will be sure to invite you if I wind up going, so that you can tell me no and then complain about it on Facebook that I didn't invite you, and then I have to tell everyone, no, I did. You just didn't want to go. So I'll be sure to do that whole shenanigan that we like to participate in. That same day, I almost said November, September 12th, we are getting The Long Walk. This is a movie based on a Stephen King book of the same name. I have not read the book. I will be reading it after watching the movie. Generally, that's kind of how I wind up doing things. I used to be very strict about book first, because then I spend 8 hours on it and I don't know the ending, and it's a little harder to reverse that, but fuck it. If it's a bad movie, I'm not going to read the book. The IMDb description is: a group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as The Long Walk, where they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. One of the really cool promotional things that's being done about The Long Walk is that there are some theaters that have special showings where everybody's watching it while on treadmills, and the treadmill cannot drop below 3 miles per hour, or they can't step off the treadmill. And if they do, they have to leave. They don't get to see the rest of the movie.
Why would you?
That's really
Why would you ever do that?
Just to participate in it. And also, fun fact, in the book, it's actually 4 miles per hour. I don't know if the movie is the same, but Stephen King had asked people, or asked them, like, hey, can you lower it just 1 mile? Like, because I just feel like that little boost is a little too much. Like, 4 miles per hour is a lot. So they have to maintain 3 miles per hour, or else they get escorted out and they don't get to know how the movie ends.
Yeah, this is a movie that I have absolutely no intention of ever seeing, and let me tell you why. There are very few things in life that fill me with genuine trepidation and horror, and one of them is walking. Long walk. You call your movie The Long Walk? I call your movie Fuck No.
I was like, isn't that the horror that you want?
Yes,
then? You're like,
no,
this'll make me
no.
feel something.
There are limited things that I don't want to see. Like, I don't want to see child sexual abuse unless it's handled very carefully, and I don't want to see anybody having to take long walks.
The fact that those are on the same level is...
This is the stupidest bit in the history of stupid bits. I had an idea.
Really,
I thought it would be funny. It didn't work.
Commit
Let's
to the
move
bit.
on.
I was into it. One small added bonus of The Long Walk is that it has introduced me to music of Shabuzi, who I had heard one song of previously, but the trailer has a song called Last of My Kind. That is by Shabuzi, and now I just regularly listen to Shabuzi. That's a really good song. He's one of those country guys, but like a good country guy.
It sounds like a weird kind of crossover between like the Hunger Games and the Running Man.
Which is exactly my cup of tea. I like anything dystopian and crazy.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it. I don't know if it's one... again, I'm not the biggest fan of Stephen King adaptations, so I don't know if I'll run right out to see it, but obviously it's on the radar. It's one that if I consider myself a true connoisseur of horror movies and somebody who thinks his opinion maybe matters a little bit, I gotta make sure to watch all the important releases every year.
Yeah,
and nobody's
how's that
ever
going
even
for
nobody's
2025.
nobody's ever. I only have a list of like 10 that I need to get caught up on.
But you said if we're going off the opinions of other people who have very good opinions on movies, you have to watch all the stuff that they want to, and that would be more than I want to watch. There's a lot of people whose opinions I value.
No, that's not what I'm just mean, like, you can't, like, you don't have to see all the most obscure shit, but, like, you gotta see, like, I even watched the fucking Final Destination movie. Well, I did eventually watch all of the Final Destination movie. I watched half of it. That's something we can talk about in the new horror. We'll get to that in just a little while. I'm sorry. Let's
table that.
Continue
all
with Future Frights.
All good. September 19th, we have Him being released. This is the latest movie with Jordan Peele attached as a producer. It is directed by Justin Tipping, who also co-wrote with Zach Akers and Skip Bronke. Justin Tipping has not done a lot that I'm familiar, but he did direct one episode of Dear White People, so I am sold. Dear White People is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And the fact that their last season was a musical season just solidified that for me. I listened to that soundtrack quite a bit, given that I'm one of the cringy white people that show is about. But
I've heard of it, never seen it. I am excited about Him though. Obviously, you put Jordan Peele's name on everything or anything, and I'm gonna pay attention. I did just see in my Facebook feed today. It wasn't a trailer, but it was a video with like a collection of quick clips from the movie, and then like quick interview clips with Marlon Wayans and the other star whose name I don't remember right now, unfortunately.
Tyreek Withers.
And it looks like it could be really like if I'm looking at it correctly, it's like obviously there's like this pro football thing where the one guy is apparently like coming in as, I don't know, the new backup or potentially the replacement for the veteran guy. But then looks like maybe there's some weird cult shit, and you know how I feel about weird cult shit. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I also made the mistake of assuming that everybody knows what Him is, so I didn't even write the IMDb description in my notes, so I will read that right now.
Do it.
A young athlete descends into a world or terror, that is a typo, world or terror, when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something darker. That legendary champion is played by Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans, who, by the way, an absolute fucking champion. Not to derail things too much, but our good friend Snoop Dogg had some dumb shit to say recently.
Yeah.
And Marlon Wayans has just had enough. He's like, I defended this guy when he murdered somebody. I defended him through this and this and this. And Marlon Wayans, famously, I don't remember the details. I'm not sure if his child is trans or just queer. Just queer. That's not what I meant to say. I mean, queer in a different way. But he has a child that he's very close and protective of, and has done a lot of, like, he's a strong voice for defending those things, and for him to take somebody who is on a certain level and take them to task like that in a public way is always awesome.
And he also gave us the iconic comedy White Chicks. So, I mean, yeah, sure, stand-up guy. But have you seen White Chicks?
Well, he also significantly funded our friend Tanner John Perry's short film Skin that we played at the Darkest Day of Horror Film Festival earlier this year.
I'm sure you've told me that, but it still sounds like new news, so I'll say
no.
Neat.
When I interviewed him, here's what they told us, and go back and check out my episode from the Chicago Horror Film Festival last May. Did a bunch of interviews with some up-and-coming young filmmakers. It was a lot of fun. But his dad went to high school with Marlon Wayans, and they were at some kind of event. Him and Marlon, I think it was even like something related to their school, and just happened to mention that his kid Tanner was getting into filmmaking and had this project they were working on. And there's this thing called Seed and Spark. I don't know exactly what it is or how it works. It's some kind of fundraising thing. But he just like went home and looked up the project and basically funded. They had a certain amount of money left, and he just paid for all of it.
Oh yeah, I do remember you telling me this now. I vaguely recall
Yeah.
this. Well,
Yeah,
what a
just, like-
stand-up guy.
Yeah, everything more and more and more everything I see about Marlon Wayans, I really dig that dude.
Awesome. Well, we
Anyway,
will
there's
be
another-
seeing his movie in
There's
2
yet another
weeks.
ADHD aside. Please continue,
This
Michelle.
is what this is about. September 26th, the last thing in my upcoming movies that I'm very, very excited about for September, Chain Reactions finally gets widely released. This is interviews with 5 people and how the Chainsaw Massacre impacted them. This is also another IMDb description that has a typo. The Texas Chain Sissawa, it's SSW instead of Saw, Massacre's impact. And the people, not really well known at all, just very little independent people. Patton Oswalt, Takashi Miike, Stephen King, Alexandra Heller Nicholas, and Karen Kusama. So, not big names. I don't know why they picked those 5
who?
in particular. Stephen King,
I've
he
never
does
heard
like
of
a
him.
lot of he does a lot of like really little short stories. I
Okay.
don't know, people like it. He gets a little wordy, and there's also some stuff. He has this book called It with an ending that's very questionable.
Oh, is that the one where all the kids fuck each other?
Yeah, he did a lot of drugs and wrote all these books. So I don't know why they include him for Chain Reactions.
I mean, in fairness, from what I understand, it's just kids fucking kids. There's, it's not. But maybe we don't need to describe that scenario. I don't know. Anyway,
It's as someone who has read the book It, I think it sounds way more salacious.
yeah.
Out of context, but it is still very strange. It is a very strange, uncomfortable thing to read about.
Yeah.
But it's not I feel like a predator.
So that's Future Frights, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Michelle, I'm sorry. I know you didn't mention it in here because obviously it's not coming up this month, but remind me when Good Boy is coming to theaters.
Oh, I was actually putting that in my news section because that trailer got released, so I'll just bump that up.
Let's just go to news and tell us all about Good Boy.
For sure. So Good Boy getting wide theatrical release on October 3rd. So when we do the September Michelle in review, I will be reminding you about this. The trailer is out there. For those who aren't familiar with Good Boy, it is essentially a ghost horror story told from the perspective of the dog trying to protect his family. I have not watched the trailer. I do not plan on watching the trailer. This is one of those movies that has physically pained me that I could not see it because it got such good praise from all the different festivals. So I've known about this since, I don't know, January, maybe somewhere around there, like last year essentially. And the fact that it has been located absolutely nowhere has been torment. So it's finally coming out October 3rd. And when the trailer got released, they had many news articles reporting that the website doesthedogdie.com had such an increase in hits that they were like, oh yeah, people are gonna like this movie. And in case anybody is out there and wondering, I'm not going to tell you, but if you do need to know whether the dog dies, I did have to go find a reliable source I could 100% trust and find out for myself. Because after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I need to know how to be emotionally prepared.
I don't think
so
I've
now I
ever
will be seeing
seen
it.
a movie ever get as much oomph of just emotional gut punch out of one word ever in my life. Jesus,
Yeah.
that was fucking heavy.
And I love horror. I love all things that make me uncomfortable. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was one of the worst theatrical experiences of my life because I was hyperventilating. I could not handle it.
It's a fantastic movie, and I do like stuff that makes me uncomfortable. What I don't like is stuff that makes me feel bad.
Yeah, how dare they? How dare they? Also, Good Boy 2025, not to be confused with Good Boy 2022 or Me, You, and Frank, which is constantly getting recommended to me now because the algorithm does not know these are different movies.
Side note, by the
I'm
way.
thrilled.
Please go watch the 2022 Good Boy, a.k.a. Me, You, and Frank. That movie was something I was not prepared for. Holy shit, it's so good. I loved it.
It's available for free on Tubi
Yep,
in only
it
an
sure
hour
is.
and 16 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, just quickly about Good Boy. Yeah, I've gone out of my way to avoid the trailer for this one. There's a movie we're going to talk about here, one of the two that I want to talk about, that I was actually really anxious when I went to see it in the theater, because I thought there might be a possibility that I would have to get up and leave quickly if the Good Boy trailer was on that. Thing got like 1 million views in 3 days after they dropped it, or 2 days or something like that. Because, I mean, just on the premise alone, it's a haunted house movie told from the perspective of the family dog. Like, I'm immediately like, okay, I'm there. Like, you've sold me my ticket on that line alone.
Paired with
And
that
then-
title.
Yeah.
That title
it's called,
sells it.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
oh,
then-
he's a real good boy. You're just trying to be a good boy.
Right, and then to then hear all the incredible positive reaction that it's been getting, it's one of the most. There's a couple of movies this year. This one is one of them. The Addams Family, Mother of Flies is another one. I just like hotly anticipated. I cannot fucking wait. And thankfully, that trailer was not on the movie I went to see.
I'm going to have to duck and dodge it, but that is partially why I haven't wanted to go see much stuff in theaters since it dropped, because I'm like, I do not want to see the trailer. I want to go into this as blindly as possible, and with it being incredibly popular, I'm like, well, I'm happy for the people making that film and horror getting like some recognition, widespread recognition, the way that a lot of other films deserve. But at the same time, like, I just don't want to see it. I'm gonna
Right.
duck 'em, dodge
I
'em
want.
as much as possible.
I feel like I've already seen too much just from the few still frames that I've seen.
Yes, but then I also had to completely spoil it for myself and find out
Well,
whether the dog dies. Or
I think that's fair. But just,
Yeah,
I don't know. There's, I mean, regardless of how that plays out, like I think there's still plenty of things to be very surprised about. So I don't think you necessarily ruined anything for yourself. Don't tell me.
I'm not telling anybody.
I'm kidding.
Unless
So
they
I already
know.
knew.
I knew.
already
I knew
knew.
you knew.
I'm not sure if you actually. The only reason I knew is I'm not sure if you caught it, but you mentioned something about it on our social media, and somebody I think commented on the Facebook post that they had heard someone say what the situation was. In fact, I probably shouldn't mention that because now people might go and look. I'm gonna go right now
Cut that
while
out.
you're talking, and no, I'm gonna go right now while you're talking and delete the comment.
Okay, smart. If you're out there, I remember the comment. It's not against you. It's just we're realizing like, oh shit.
Right, I just blew it and gave people the possibility of a spoiler, so I'm gonna go fix it. Sorry, I do this a lot, and I would just rather not edit the video.
Yeah, no, the video, the audio.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Don't judge me.
Okay, on to news. Every other thing on my news list is about video games, but related to horror movies. Most of them. A lot of them are like adaptations, but there's so much good video game horror movie adaptation in our future, and also like some real good good games. Oh, I'm just excited. Okay, so first off, let's get some of the straight up video game, not movie news out of the way. Vile Exhumed. I went on a bit of a rant in the August Michelin review. Nope, this is the August Michelin review. In the July Michelin review about censorship and how Collective Shout is forcing payment processors to take video games down off of the Steam library because they deem them offensive and say that it contains sexual content, and that can be said for so many things out there. One of the games that got removed was Vile Exhumed, which is a game that has been, I don't know if it was like co-produced with Dread Central, but I know that they have had massive campaigns about it. It got taken down the day it was supposed to be released because it had sexual violence against women, or whatever blanket term they used. It was created by a female developer from Final Girl Games, and it is meant to make the person playing it very uncomfortable and to put you in a certain situation that actually makes you empathetic to the plight of the people it is supposedly just exploiting. And because of all of this stuff going on, Final Girl Games said fuck it, and they released the game for free. So I played it because I was very curious, like, okay, well, with Collective Shout being dicks, now I know about this too much and I gotta go play it. And I expected to just play it, be like, oh, okay, that was the game. Cool. Like, I don't see what the big deal was, but kind of messed me up a little bit. Not in a way that, like, yeah, like, not in a way that, like, Collective Shout is right, and I don't want this to be exposed to people. It is very fucking dark. However, it's very fucking dark because it does a great job of what it's trying to do. Very, very basic explanation of it is that you log into a computer in 1999, and all the video game is you just clicking around your computer and doing stuff and getting into the head of the person whose computer this is. So there's like some fun puzzles of trying to figure out like what my password is, and it gives me a hint reminder. So then I have to go figure out, like, have I seen this someplace? Go check through my email and be like, oh, it's this plus this. So that kind of thing. And I can't say that it's the game that scared me. What I can say is that there were some Easter eggs in there where I was like, nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely. And I was just like staring off to the side, waiting for something to pass by because I was like, that's very cheesy, but like it's very effective right now. And it's not like a scary game in like, oh, ghosts are real. It's scary in a holy shit, humans are vile. And it does a really great job. So if you're interested in that kind of thing and you want to be potentially psychologically tormented, I got through it in 2 hours. I had then gone to check out YouTube and Reddit and see like what did I miss, because it's not purely linear, so there were a couple things that I just hadn't figured out during my playthrough, so that was kind of cool to go check those out. But it's a quick enough game. You can play it for free. You can go download it. Google it. It's itch.io, I think is that where it got taken down from? If you can't find it by Googling it, message me. I will get you the link. But Vile Exhumed messed me up in a way that horror movies don't.
I remember us talking about that, and just that idea of, like, of course, the real issue here is they're not willing to take the time to actually dig into this and find out exactly what's really happening. They just blanket ban anything that talks about dark subject matter. And let me ask you, you would know, so this movie is pretty intense, and the game rather is pretty intense. And you said it was, I assume, probably made by somebody who maybe has, unfortunately, as so many women have, had some experience in this area of things. And I have to assume, and you can probably confirm for me, the game, were they kind of going out of their way to make sure people understood what this was?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And the game itself, there is a component to this where you find out that in this fictional world, there is an adult film actress named Candy Corpse, and she specifically does porn that is also like horror themed. So it's like, oh my god, she came back to life and then she fucked me to death. I had to type the word Necronomicock while playing this game because yeah.
I mean, fucking spoiler alert, but holy shit.
No, it's because there's like an IMDb equivalent page of like the movies that she's done, and there's an Evil Dead
I'm just saying, Michelle, if I had, because I'm actually thinking I might go click through this thing if it can be done in a couple hours.
Absolutely.
But I would have liked to have stumbled upon Necronomicock, is all I'm saying. No, it's fine.
I know it's like such a specific thing, but
that's fucking hilarious. Oh
but
my
like
god.
the reality of Candy Corpse, despite being like an adult film actress, which I don't believe that the woman behind Final Girl Games is, but she's a female game developer who also has a lot of attention on her, and probably gets very similar messages and
Well,
has a similar experience to what Candy Corpse
it's well known even to people like me who don't really know shit about video games, and I'm not part of that side of the culture. I know well and good what attitudes are like towards female game creators in that space right now. So I'm sure it's fucking awful. But my point ultimately being that, like, if I feel like that's the indicator of whether or not something's being handled in the right way, is like, how much do you go out of your way to make sure that nobody comes into this without knowing exactly what they're getting into, at least from a subject matter kind of thing. You don't have to, like, we're playing the movie The Ice Tower from Yellow Veil Pictures coming up in October here at the Fargo Theater. And there's some stuff in that movie that's pretty fucking heavy. And so I just put a note on the event page that's like, look, there are some things in this that, you know, if you have some things that you don't want to see, feel free to just reach out to us. We're more than happy to tell you the kind of things that you're going to bump into here. We just don't want to spoil them outright for everybody. And you can tell because there's a certain... I think the kind of person who resists a content warning, whether they say it or not, is obviously the kind of person whose goal is that experience. They want you to be shocked and horrified to a point where maybe you even turn the movie off, but they're not considering the fact that, and it's all tied into the fact that we still exist in a culture that does not take psychology and mental health seriously at all. But it's like, you're not talking about people just being disgusted and repulsed and offended. You're talking about people being re-fucking traumatized, right? So, and that's why I feel like it's obscene and ridiculous that they would step in and do something like this. And I am also now very curious to go, especially when you said you're really just kind of like clicking around a screen and solving puzzles and stuff. That's right up my alley. And then you said took about 2 hours to get through, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can do that.
Yeah, I already made a note to send you either the link or the file in my OneDrive so that you can play it, because it's also just really fun clicking through a computer from 1999. It is so authentic. I did have to, there's a setting in the main menu that I will tell you about because this drove me a little bit nuts and I had to fix it. It does the mouse click sound every time you click your cursor, which is really fun at first, but gets very grating. So in the settings, you can go disable the mouse click sound. I left everything else the same, but that mouse click sound after a while is just like this is going to drive me a little bit nuts.
Speaking of a 1999 era computer, Michelle, do you remember what year it was when you had your first computer in your home?
2001.
Okay.
The year of 9/11. Is that a coincidence? It must be.
You said it goes all the way back to 99, and I was like, we had our first computer in 96. I'm so fucking old.
Yeah, no, I think we got
ago.
ours post-millennium. We were very broke. Also, the first video game that I ever played on a computer was The Neverhood, which is a great
The first
game.
video game I ever played on a computer was Zork in 1984. Well, I watched my dad play it.
I guess I played like ping pong and arcade games. This was like the first story-driven game that I was able to play.
Yeah, and like this was, I think it was like a Tandy 1000 or something, and somebody my parents knew had bought it, and they like borrowed the entire computer and some game discs to my dad so he could play they wanted him to play the game, and it's a fucking text adventure, right?
Yep. I know.
But yeah, anyway. Okay, there's another aside talking about I'm really curious about this game, so I think I will probably check it out.
I hope you like it. It definitely hit a lot harder than I thought it was going to. I thought it was just going to be like oh, that was fun. They were wrong to take it down, but like it made me very uncomfortable in the way that the developer intended for me to feel uncomfortable. They did very good. Next in my news, more video games. This one is, well, I actually have two that have been announced. We are getting a first-person action horror video game called Hellraiser Revival. You are a person who has the, oh my god, why did I just forget what the puzzle box is called? What's the puzzle box?
The Lament configuration, or the Lamarchon box.
Yeah, Lamarchon box. I was just like, the box. You got that. You have the Lamarchon box, and you're able to use that to try to avoid getting killed.
We came.
What a waste of good suffering. I love Hellraiser. And this looks like my kind of video game.
I'm sorry, I don't know why it's just now occurring to me, but that line is like, Clive Barker was such a pervert when he made that movie. You think about that line, the box, you opened it, we came. And I was just like, how many times have I heard that line, and it's just hitting me from that angle now. Holy shit.
I've also never processed that before. That makes me like even more. I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. I never made it through every single movie. I
did!
I think there was one, because I didn't even know it existed until I told you I'd watched all like 8 or 9 or 12 or however many there were.
And they did that thing just because it's a thought in my head and I want to get it out. It well known that the last several movies in that franchise were movies that were originally written and had nothing to do with Hellraiser, and they just found a way to tack them on. I believe it's either Hellraiser 5 or Hellraiser 6. Would actually, I think, be a real solid, real good movie if you just hadn't tacked the Hellraiser shit onto it. But, a couple of years ago, I watched all 10 of those because it was a blind spot that I'd only ever seen the first one. And for some reason, I committed to watching them all. And, man, I wish I had stopped after 2.
Yeah, I also own many Clive Barker books, some of which are autographed, and I haven't even read them. So, like, I need to actually get on top of that. That's just how much I like the first and second Hellraiser. The Hellraiser Revival is, it looks like it might be a December release date, but I don't know if that's going to get pushed back or anything like that. So I'm hoping that comes out in December, because then I have finals week mid-December, and I will have some time to play it. I like when they release things in my college schedule. Very, very helpful. Unlike when they put out Yakuza last year in February, right when the semester was starting. God damn it. That was a very hard thing to manage. Then the other video game that was announced is Halloween, which is going to be done in the style of the Friday the 13th video game that's out there, which I don't know what this subgenre would be, but Friday the 13th was a co-op game where you could either play as Jason and hunt down the teenagers, or you could play as one of the teenagers on a team of your friends to try to like get the car running again so you could drive out of there, or get like out to a safe area and then you won that way, or find like all the pieces and like the sweater and stuff to summon the mom. I don't know.
Wasn't there also a mode in that game where you could play it multiplayer, but one of the players was Jason and the rest of them were campers?
I think so.
Well, either way,
wait,
I was
hang
just
on.
curiosity.
Wait, is that different from what I just said of you could play as Jason? Or are you saying like...
Yeah, I thought you were meaning there's like a one-player mode where you play as Jason, or a multiplayer mode where everybody's campers.
No, it's everybody can play as everybody. So like the Jason, you could be Jason playing against your friends. Okay. And like and there's some really great videos of people on voice chat, streaming and realizing like they're Fred, and like you hear both of them yelling as they're like battling, and they're like, oh god. Friday the 13th was a huge hit when that got released.
I remember everybody talking about it.
Yep. From what I can tell, Halloween is going to be that same level of play. It did say that you could either play as Michael Myers or one of the people trying to stay away from Michael Myers. And release date sometime in 2026. Do not have further details. It was just announced. I'm excited. That one, I might not play. That's not my kind of game to play. That's my kind of game to watch. Hellraiser Revival. Oh, I'm playing that first day. And with all its bugs and everything, I'll take it. And then I've got just two more pieces of news, which are video games getting adapted into movies. Exit 8. This is a game about liminal spaces, and all it is that you are essentially walking down a white tunnel that looks like a subway, and you're told to look for differences in the hallway. So as you're walking, if you find something that's strange and shouldn't be there, you have to turn around and go back the way you came. And then when you go back the way you came, now you're in that same tunnel, but walking down, and now you're like, oh, okay, is there anything weird down here? And you're just constantly like moving back and forth, and things get very strange where you're like, oh my God, that is very unnatural. That's not right. And you like run away from it. That is getting adapted into a movie. It is coming from Neon, being released in 2026 and directed by Genki Kawamura. And that, I don't even know how they are going to make that a movie. I have some concepts, but it's not going to be the same as the game. So I'm excited about it. I really liked Exit 8. I was very bad at it, but it was very fun. It's a fun game.
I feel like anybody who's interested in liminal space movies and just that concept needs to check out a movie called Nothing. It's directed by Vincenzo Natale, who did Cube. Dude was very much into minimalist filmmaking for a while, to the extent that Nothing, it's kind of bookended by normal movie stuff, but like 85% of the movie is just a couple of dudes in just a plain white empty space. Like, you know, in The Matrix when they go into the blank area and load up all the guns and all of that stuff. It's like that, but there's nothing. But yet, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember the exact details of the story. I believe they're trying to knock his house down, and he doesn't want to move or something like that.
Yeah, it's also very funny. It's really funny, weird, subliminal.
Yeah, but yeah, go check that out if you're interested in liminal spaces. That movie's a trip.
My other movie, I just realized I talked about back in June. It's just been 2 months and I had forgot, but Phasmophobia, getting a horror video game adaptation from Blumhouse. I forgot I found that out 2 months ago. I just read my previous notes because I was like, I'm pretty sure I talked about this. I'm just really excited about that. Phasmophobia is a really good game that I can only play for a little bit because I get very motion sick. And then my role becomes standing in the van looking at the cameras and walkie-talking to my friends in the haunted house to let them know whether there are any spooky things happening that they should be aware of. Which is also just very scary because then I'm just like watching my friend Tony get killed by a poltergeist and I can't do anything because I'm in the van because I got too motion sick and so I just can't move for a little bit. Phasmophobia is a great game. That's one of the co-op games that I'm a huge fan of. And the movie is probably just gonna be like, whoa, there's a haunted house, and that's gonna be the connection. They're gonna be like, whoa, they're exploring a haunted house. What kind of ghost is it? Yeah, but the game is so good that I'm excited for that. Do you have anything for news, JD?
Of course I don't.
Okay, perfect.
I'll let you do all of that.
I have two to discuss in horror in the after times, aka new horror, aka post-COVID. The first one was weapons, which we have now done an episode about, so I'm not going to
Two episodes you've done.
I have done 2 episodes. That is correct, because Don't Make Me Watch Weapons, hilarious episode. I have so much fun telling Sarah things that she does not want to know about. Go check out Don't Make Me Watch That on the We Watch Shudder podcast. We just dropped Saw today.
That's your third episode, yeah?
Yeah, our third episode is Saw, and it's just really great that I'm so proud of Jenna and I being able to hold out to episode 3 before we get into Saw. And we will be doing all 10. We're just not doing them all at once, which was a thing that we debated, like locking Frisky and Sarah in a room and just being like, we're telling you all 10 Saws. Buckle up. Here's some water and a bucket to pee in. But yes, so Weapons, we've got 2 episodes on the channel now. I really enjoyed Weapons. Might be my top 5 of the year once I go review that list. The other one, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Sometimes I'm like, there's a movie that's so good that I really hope everyone sees it. And sometimes there's a movie that is so bad that I hope no one sees it. But sometimes there's a sweet spot where a movie is so bad I hope everyone sees it. And that is War of the Worlds 2025. JD likes to
Ice Cube.
JD likes to not be too critical of films because I also agree with that mentality of like there's just no point being negative if you didn't like it. Like, okay, fine, there's other stuff to enjoy. Why would I tear something down? But this is a movie that came out on Prime that has so many like Prime promotional moments in it. I don't know who blackmailed Ice Cube to get him to do this. It is the silliest thing, and it's so baffling that it exists, and I highly recommend it to everyone. I will tell you, it has a very strong 2.5 out of 10 stars on IMDb with 27,000 ratings. I will be watching this again. This is a good time in all the wrong ways.
I will say that my policy about being easy on movies definitely becomes less and less of a concern the higher profile a project is. The more money they spent on it, the more I am willing to be a little more ridiculing, you know? So, I imagine if it's a Prime production and Ice Cube is in it, they spent multiple millions on this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Even Longoria's in there too, so add that. Cost like more big names.
A couple million bucks just for the cast.
Exactly, and it is not good. I had no intention of seeing it. I really liked other variations of War of the Worlds, including the Tom Cruise one. Fight me, I don't care. I like it. I didn't really have any intention of seeing this because I was like, oh, it's not really getting good reviews. But then social media kept showing me clips from it that seemed so insane that I was like, wait, this is in this big budget movie? If this is true, if this is actually, I was like, there's no way this is actually in the movie. And then I went and watched it, and yeah, that's actually in the movie. And I was so flabbergasted. My flabbers were so gasted that like I could not contain myself. That I'm like, who wrote this? I mean, I know who did. Kenny Gold and Mark Hyman, as well as H.G. Wells. Wow, that's crazy that they like woke that guy up and they're like, hey, we need you to write a movie starring Ice Cube that people are really not gonna like, and it's gonna butcher your original material. And he's like, is it still cool to be racist? And they're like, absolutely not. And they put him back to sleep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anything else you want to say about this wonderful gem?
It's just really bad, and I'm looking forward to watching it with friends many times. This is my new Cats. I made people watch Cats so many times because I hated it, and this is the new Cats.
Finally, so a good transition then into the things that I saw from the after times. I had, I guess, for me, more of a, it was so bad, and I got a little carried away with getting more negative about it. Again, specifically because it is a very high-profile, very high-budget film so far as horror goes. I did finally watch Final Destination Bloodlines. It took 2 sessions to be able to watch it. I got about halfway. My biggest problem with it is I got about halfway through it the first time, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I don't know if it was just the screen I was watching it on or if I would notice the same wherever I watched it. But the all of the digital matte painting and like all the backdrops and stuff that they were using were just so glaringly obvious to me that these people, like 3/4 of every frame that you're seeing is not actually there. like everything is being keyed in on a green screen. And so that was just really incredibly frustrating to me because I've seen tiny little $100,000 budget movies that use that same technique, but they do it so much more smoothly. Like this movie, there are points in it that reminded me of fucking Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, except that's how that one was supposed to look. But no, this is definitely not for me. There definitely some incredible splatter in it, but yeah, that's that same sort of thing. Is when you're paying multiple. I think the production budget for that movie was like $40 million, and that's the best you could do for your digital matte paintings. I'm gonna ridicule you a little bit.
I have been needing to go back and rewatch it because I really liked Final Destination Bloodlines. I saw it in the theater and didn't think the CGI was awful. So I am going to be curious watching it at home. Do I still feel that way?
I want to be specific. Like the stuff that you're focusing on, like some of the actual like gore effects and stuff, they're not the greatest, but they're okay. I'm specifically talking about the backdrops and the way like so much of it is just so glaringly obviously not there.
Yeah, I knew you definitely did not mean the deaths because Final Destination has a long history of doing very good practical effects for their deaths. They're just digitally enhanced.
I saw a meme or something a while back that actually I thought was a real interesting and accurate sort of idea. But it was basically like, or maybe it was just one of those things where somebody had made a tweet and somebody clipped a picture of it. But it was something to the effect of, someday the backward progression of CGI in the first 20 years of the 2000s is going to have to be studied. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, they're kind of right. Like, especially on the high dollar, okay, it's commonplace complaint at this point, but I'm right there with it. Like the CG that a lot of Marvel stuff has been cranking out in the last few years is terrible for the amount of money they're spending. It's terrible compared to what they've already done. It's wild.
I have a movie that they could take some notes from on how to do CGI properly. Have you heard of this little known film called War of the Worlds from 2025 starring Ice Cube? Excellent CGI. You're going to be blown away. You're going to be like, this is how it should be done. Is
he credited as Ice Cube or is he credited as O'Shea Jackson?
He is credited as Ice Cube.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The other one from the After Times that I want to talk about, I just saw it on my birthday earlier this week as we record this, and it's Macon Blair's reimagining of the Trauma classic, The Toxic Avenger. And it's a wild fucking movie, and to me, though, the wildest thing about this movie is that it took 2 years to find somebody to distribute this thing. Are you fucking kidding me? This movie is great. Like, it's fan-fucking-tastic. It's so fun, and it's splatter, like fucking wild splatter. The first moment just comes out of nowhere, and it hit me. I laughed so fucking hard in the theater, and then continued to laugh for a lot of it. If you've seen a lot of Trauma stuff, I'm not like oh fuck Trauma or anything like that. I respect what they do as an independent house, but Trauma has long been known for frankly deliberately being tasteless. Right? It's part of what they do. It's part of their identity, and I don't have a problem with that. They've got a few things they've done that I like, all right, and one of them is Toxic Avenger. That first Toxic Avenger film, I think, is pretty decent. Of course, everything after that, I don't care for. But what I love about this movie is that it maintains everything I love and really enjoy about Trauma movies. Just the absurdity and the silliness and just this level of ridiculousness that's so fun. So many of the characters, like there's this band that's also like a gang of thugs, and they are classic Trauma characters, like the classic Trauma gang of thugs from so many different movies. I'm thinking specifically about the group of dudes from Tromeo and Juliet. But it has all of that, but it's like, if you ever wondered what a Trauma movie would look like if they had a decent like a relatively decent budget. I think this movie was made for like $30 million or something like that. No, it can't be. But anyway, if you ever wondered what a Troma movie would look like with a better budget, but also if they toned down just like the deliberate tastelessness and sort of that John Waters, Pink Flamingos kind of attitude, and told a little bit more of a story. I mean, it isn't gonna, break your heart or anything like that. It's still a fun movie. But ultimately what I'm getting at in my rambling here is it took everything I love about Troma and kept it, and then also like eliminated the things that I find problematic and tuned up some of the things that I thought they could do better on. It's like, for me, this is like an idealized version of what Troma is in a lot of ways, and I fucking loved it. Peter Dinklage is awesome. Kevin Bacon is awesome. Jacob Tremblay is awesome. Everybody who's in that movie is great. So fucking good. I really hope everybody gets to see it soon.
Were you able to see that one alone in the way that you had hoped?
No, so
Damn
I got
it.
there
Okay.
initially, and for the longest time I was the last or the only person in the theater. And then just as the trailers were ending, some more people came in. There were about 4 or 5 other people in there with me, which actually, in the end, I really appreciate, because everybody was having a good time with it. And when you're in a room with people and everybody's having a good time, it just makes your good time better.
I can get that.
Yeah.
But also, it's just so nice to go to the
Oh,
theater
yeah,
and
sometimes.
nobody else is there.
Yeah, and I think for me it would depend on what kind, for this movie, because I wasn't aware that it was going to be this fun. I had I had some idea that it might be a little sort of more dark and edgy, and it's not. In those situations, I am glad. Something a bit more serious or a bit more heavy. Like, could you imagine if you had been able to see Hereditary in an empty theater for the first time? I might not have finished that fucking movie, right? I might have had to take a goddamn break. But
watching The Substance with only 3 or 4 people in theater total, one of my favorite movie experiences, because I went by myself and I was like, I have no one to talk to about this. So the movie gets done. One guy's alone behind me. 2 girls up front are like there together. And we just all turned to each other and we're like, what the fuck? And we're talking like it bonds you.
Yeah,
Seeing that
it
kind of
certainly
movie with a
does.
Small group.
I did want to point out just quickly the trailers that I saw, because I don't watch a lot of trailers anymore, that were attached to
Good boy,
Toxic
that Good Boy
Avenger.
trailer.
It was
so
not.
Good.
It was not on the movie. They opened with a trailer for Jester 2. And I'm like, wait, was Jester, the first Jester, did that get a theatrical release?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just going to leave my thoughts on Jester to myself. Look, it feels a lot like somebody trying to be halfway between like Terrifier and the Black Phone or something. It's anyway. So Jester 2, and then a trailer for that. And how many fucking movies is Emma Stone gonna make with Yorgos Lanthimos? What are they up
Ooh,
to?
Begonia.
Yeah, this is their
Begonia.
third one together.
Yeah, I
They
just
did,
watched Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
the
say
first
they
time and
did.
loved it.
What was the first one that they did together?
The first one I don't remember, but it's Kinds of Kindness, Begonia, Poor Things, and then I think
Poor
there's
Things.
4.
That's, I think, okay, maybe there's 4, but Poor Things is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
I still
you did
need
not
to.
like Poor Things.
I still want to see Kinds of Kindness, just out of curiosity, and also because Margaret Qualley is in it. And she she gave an interview, I think, on maybe it's either Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of those. But she was talking about how like she does some pretty adult things apparently in that movie. And she got a phone call one night from her mom. And her mom, of course, being a Hollywood actress, Andie MacDowell. But it was like her mom and a couple other people, and they were all going to the theater to watch that movie, having no idea what really good. And she's just like, "Oh, Mama, please no."
I know that you really despised Poor Things. I will say that the things that you hate about Poor Things are not present in Kinds of Kindness, so
Yeah.
you could give it a shot. I thought it was very funny and quirky and weird.
Well, and that's definitely why I want to check them out, because I like like Lanthimos' as a filmmaker. I like it. That movie just deals with some subjects that made me really uncomfortable. And so, like, I would like to see, like, I feel like there's a very strong possibility that as long as he doesn't take me into those same places, I could probably end up liking something. So, Begonia certainly looked awesome. Also, as long as I'm talking about interview clips, Emma Stone in a recent panel discussion about Begonia had the great, because she shaves, her head had to be shaved bald for the movie. And somebody at the panel asked her, like something like, was it hard for you to get to a point where you were okay with shaving your head? And her response is, was it hard for me to shave my head? No, I just took a clippers and shaved it right off. It's the easiest thing in the world. And I love that. But yeah, I'm not even certain from the trailer what exactly that movie is about, but Yorgos Lanthimos is an interesting fucking dude.
I like that every time I see something from him, it's something I haven't seen before, and that will always get praise from me.
Yeah, he's
as
unique.
opposed to, like, if you give me a really good exorcism movie, I love exorcism movies. At this point, I've seen all the different ways it can be told, and it's like, even if this is the best exorcism movie, like, we're continuing Paranormal Activity, and it's as good as the second one, you know, like anything along those lines. I've seen it all, and at this point, like, it gets kind of old, and he just does stuff. The Lobster with Colin Farrell, real weird movie. Still do not know how I feel about that ending, but I appreciate that he shows me things that I keep thinking about for long after.
Sure.
I think I just watched it last night or like 2 days ago because I'd never seen it, and with the Begonia trailer coming out, I was like, I just gotta go watch this. I love Emma Stone. She can do no wrong.
After the Begonia trailer was a trailer for a movie that I had heard of, but I think I just never really quite understood what kind of movie it was. I think I had the impression that it was just some kind of standard found footage thing. But it's a movie that I believe is produced by Mike Flanagan called Shelby Oaks.
Yeah.
And that looked really
October.
fucking interesting.
I got so excited just from you mentioning it. Shelby Oaks is very high on my list of, like, please do not suck.
Yeah, and then they had Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Personally, I don't really care. I've never seen the first one. It's whatever it is. This is where it gets really interesting. Because they played the trailer, like a teaser, not a full trailer, but they played a teaser for Return to Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. And then they played the full trailer or like a longer teaser for the upcoming remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night that's being produced by Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting, who also did the Toxic Avenger release. But then they played that same Return to Silent Hill teaser again. And now I'm the kind of fucking weird, paranoid, crazy dude who I'm like, was that just a fuck up? Or is there something going on and there's a reason they play it twice and there's something you're supposed to notice? And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
Ooh. I was thinking, like, because it's a Silent Hill, it's definitely possible that it's just meant to make you go like, what was the difference? I might go down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna go make a note. Silent Hill trailers in theater. Okay, that's not gonna get me to what I want to find, but I will be finding. It'll be a reminder.
So that's all I have for horror in the after times, and it just dawns on me that the movie I was gonna talk about in horror in the before times is honestly not really worth talking about. It's just the only other movie I watched, so I'm not even gonna talk about it. The rest of this episode is yours, Michelle.
Okay, perfect. Horror in the before times. First off, we don't have to get into it, but I did rewatch Saw 1, 4, 5, 6, and then Saw the musical for the first time.
Why did you skip 2 and 3 when I know for a fact those are your favorites because I just heard you say it today on Don't Make Me Watch Saw?
Because we did a girls' trip to Saw the musical, the unauthorized parody of Saw, and Tristan still hasn't seen all of the Saws. We had seen 1 through 3. So in the hotel room, I was like, I need you to get to Saw 6. So we watched 4, 5, and 6 throughout the weekend in the hotel room because it was just nice, like, just getting food and, like, hanging out with your girls in a hotel room and just watching Saw and laughing our asses off. Then we saw the musical, and then on the ride back from Sioux Falls, Jenna and I were like, we should just do Saw for the next Don't Make Me Watch That. And so then I rewatched Saw. Jenna did not need to rewatch Saw 1. She read her notes from the dissertation that she had written about Saw.
Some of us would argue that nobody needs to ever rewatch Saw 1.
And those people can shut the fuck up. Just today, I did rewatch the short film that got the whole Saw thing going because I was like, oh, hey, Frisky, you were kind of interested in this. Like, here's what the short film was. Totally forgot Billy the Puppet has a fucking fedora in the initial short film. Wish he had kept that. Really good. Real good times.
That was pretty fucking great.
Yeah. So just two things in the horror and the before times. The first one, this has been on my list for so very long, but it was not in English, and that made it hard for me to commit to it. The thing is not that I'm opposed to watching things that are not in English. It's that I am opposed to watching things that I can't multitask while watching, and this was that. So I had to finally be like, okay, this is the thing that I'm just going to watch, give it 100% of my attention, and try not to do other stuff because I can't like read subtitles. And also it's a big fantasy film, and you can't really do a fantasy film and not pay attention to. So whole bunch of stuff. This is an Italian film called Freaks Out. Freaks Out. The original, and in my opinion better title, was Freaks versus the Reich. It is an Italian fantasy film about circus freaks who decide to join a circus run by Nazis. They have actual powers. There is Matilde, who can control electricity. Cencio, who controls insects. Fulvio, who is a very muscular and hairy man, like a half-beast man. And then Mario, who has telekinesis of metal, so metal bending and metal controlling in general.
Is he a plumber?
No, he is not, but he is a short little Italian man, so just saying. Maybe there's some overlap.
It's me!
It's me, Mario, with my medal. Oh God, no! My brain started going like, yes, let's go down this road. No, brain, stop it. And then the guy in charge of the circus, Franz, is a clairvoyant who has 6 fingers on each hand, which he uses to play the piano, and he sees into the future, so he plays modern hits during like the World War II era, and people like love it. Like, imagine hearing Don't Stop Believin' for the first time back then because he took it from the future. And so he is convinced that there will be this group of people who take the Reich down, and he's trying to find which of these freaks out there it will be, and it's them versus Franz.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a strange question?
Okay.
You don't by chance have 6 fingers on your left hand, do you?
I don't.
Alright, never mind.
I was trying to remember what movie it was from.
It's The Princess Bride. The 6-fingered man murdered his father.
Thank
murdered
you. So
Inigo Montoya's father.
I was like, I 100% have seen this movie. It's completely lost on me. No, this guy might have murdered his father.
It was I feel terrible. I said his left hand, and it's on his right hand that he has.
Oh yeah,
6 fingers.
if you had said the right hand, I definitely would have figured it out.
Oh, okay.
That's definitely what threw me off.
I bet you would have.
Oh man, that sounds like The Princess Bride, but it can't be. That's too different.
Moving on.
Freaks Out is available on Prime. It's also on some free services like Roku and Tubi. So if you don't have Prime, I really, really enjoyed this film. It's an adventure movie with things constantly going on that are fascinating to look at. Like I said, I have a hard time watching movies without multitasking, and this one I was totally fine with it. Once it pulled me in, I was totally happy. I just gave it all of my attention. It has a very the story has a lot of heart to it. The effects are really great. There's like, this guy's just trying to figure out like who has superpowers that are going to take down Hitler essentially. And so the people he's working his way through in order to find that person, like their powers are very interesting, and the way that he's like putting them through tests, what his ultimate, like how this is a retelling of events that happen. Like it's really good. And I'm glad that I finally gave it the time of day that it deserves. So Freaks Out, or you will occasionally see it on different services as Freaks versus the Reich.
And that was your second film in the Before times?
It was one of two if we're not counting Saw, which I'm not.
Okay.
So I have one more for
okay.
4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, so my other one is The Bigfoot Project. This is a mockumentary about people searching for Bigfoot. This is one of those movies where my husband came to me and said, hey, do you want to watch a movie together? And I went, ooh, absolutely. And then I looked through my list and I went, what is John in the mood for? Because John likes some things that I like, but there's not a huge overlap. He likes aliens. I like aliens, but he likes comedy. And I went, I have this movie called The Bigfoot Project from 2017. It's been on my list for a while. Let's check it out. And let me tell you, I know my husband so well. He laughed throughout that entire thing. It was very slapstick. And JD, this is why I'm including it, because I think you might like it. Slapstick, like kind of dumb humor. Very funny. My favorite character is just a side character you meet kind of near the beginning and then don't see again. And I was thrilled to learn that it's Chris Farley's brother, Kevin P. Farley.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no idea. And he had me laughing so hard. The Bigfoot Project is just like a bunch of people out searching for Bigfoot, and they're encountering some weird characters. You know, they're interviewing people in the area to see if they've seen Bigfoot. They're having weird little fights amongst each other in the woods. It's a really simple film, and I was surprised by how funny it was for being very dumb humor. So if you like slapstick, Bigfoot Project, 100%. I just want to go watch Kevin P. Farley again because he was very funny.
Are you aware that Kevin Farley also played one of the members of fictional boy band Together in the MTV fictional boy band TV series Together that aired from 2000 to 2001?
I had no idea.
He was the older brother. Yeah, he was the older brother.
I'm making a note.
Yeah.
I have so many notes from this episode of like things I want to like go back and rewatch. So, whew. Okay, yeah, those are my two for the before times.
I did just want to, and the reason I was asking is because I remembered a thing I wanted to point out, but I didn't want to do it till you were done. I did forget to mention in Horror in the After Times. It's a movie I've mentioned many times before, but I can't mention it enough because I fucking love it, and Michelle even really liked it. But Cannibal Mukbang is now available for free with ads on Tubi. So if you just have not been able to watch it recently, or if you are, like me, often very, very tight on funds, you can see it for free on Tubi with a few ad interruptions. I cannot recommend that movie enough. It's so good.
And speaking of the Squelch Files, Cannibal Mukbang is an MVP. And that means that it has more than 10 squelching subtitles, including some Let's Get Squexual subtitles.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yep.
A couple.
Yep. I think there's 12 total.
How many VIPs are there, Michelle, in the Squelch Files?
You know, that's a great question, because I think it's roughly I guess with this latest batch, I don't know, but it's like 200 or 300 in that category, so it's got to be like 20 to 30 properties. But I should just go look and figure out like how many unique values are actually listed in here for the types, and then get back to you because I am curious.
Is Mad God still the number one?
Oh God, no. Theater Obscura or Theater Bizarre.
Right, Theater Bizarre. I remember you told me that updated.
Had 33. I think it had so many that I was like, it's not even fun collecting squelches anymore. I just want to enjoy this movie, because if I'm watching a movie on my computer, if I come across a squelch, I immediately stop everything, pause, go collect the squelch, go on with my business. And that one, I would like collect the squelch and then hit play, and then there'd be another one like 30 seconds later. I'm like, oh. And then I was just sitting there at a certain point, just like collecting squelches. I was like, I don't even care about the story right now, and this is so gross, and I want to just pay attention to it, but. Yeah, there's even a dick squelch in Theater Obscura, Bizarre,
a dick squelch? I don't even want to know what a dick squelch. I mean, obviously it's a squelch involving a dick, but I don't want to know the details, is what I'm saying.
There are quite a few dick squelches in the files, I'm just saying.
Fair enough. All right, so what do we got now?
Non-horror, of which I only have 2 things to discuss as well. First one, Snow White, the 2025 movie Snow White. Whereas War of the Worlds was so bad, it's good. Snow White is not good. And it's strange because I know how people feel about Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, and I was like, oh, this is one of those cases of like people hate that there's a Disney remake. They hate that Rachel Zegler isn't like Snow White. She's not Caucasian enough. Like all these things that like I knew, I was like, well, those aren't really valid criticisms. Like, okay, well, you don't like them as people, and I get that, but like you're just bombing their ratings because of these other things. It's not just because the movie's bad. No, the movie is. And again, this is one of those properties that it's a Disney film. They have enough money. Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler can handle me criticizing their film. It's bizarre. The gnomes make me uncomfortable. Or the dwarves, not gnomes. They're not okay, and I don't like that they exist. Rachel Zegler cannot figure out what her face is supposed to be doing. She has the most bizarre reactions to things. And I can't even break down. Like, everything she does feels wrong. Where I'm like, that is the choice you actively made. And it feels like everything she's doing, she was just trying to be different with it. But then it comes across like, this. I'm so disconnected because I'm so confused about, like, what you're character driven. And she's not even, like, a terrible actress. I've liked her in other things. Is it West Side Story is the musical that I really like? I think so. Yeah, pretty sure.
I mean, it's a musical. I don't know if it's one that you really like.
Yeah, it is. It's that one. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, no, I'm baffled by Snow White because I figured it's probably not going to be good, but it's not going to be terrible. And nope. It's a bizarre experience, and I think people should go watch it and then tell me why it feels so weird. Why does it feel so weird?
Well, I'm not going to be the person to do that for you because I've seen a couple of the Disney. First of all, live action is a stretch with some of these things. They're fucking just as animated as all get out. They're just
the dwarves are terrifying.
Oh, like there's not a stitch of live action in the live action Lion King. Like every ounce of that is now. I will say. It's certainly much higher quality CGI than you're getting from pretty much everybody else these days. But I just haven't been a fan of any of them. Not even that they're bad. There's just I haven't seen a single one of the live action remakes that I think is as good as the original. And so why would I watch the live action remake when I can just watch this awesome animated film, you know?
Mm-hmm. And Snow White isn't even one of those like I loved it so much it can't be touched kind of properties. That was never one of my favorites. I've seen it a lot because, I was a child in the 90s, and that was one of the ones that we had on VHS tape. So I've seen it many, many times. So it's not like I love the initial property so much. It's just strange. I've actually, I watched it earlier in the month, so I've had time to just every once in a while, like, YouTube will recommend me, like, a little clip from somebody being like, why is Snow White so bad? And I click it, and I still don't fully understand what it's doing wrong. I don't like what it's doing to my brain, though, where I watch it and I go, this doesn't make me feel good. I feel so uncomfortable with everything going on in this film. I thought Disney was supposed to make me feel good, and none of this makes me feel good. Why is her chin jutting out like that all the time? It's a sign of defiance. Why are you being defiant right now? Why is this man trying to kill you and you're not surprised in the least about this? And you're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna die now because you're supposed to be brave, but that doesn't fit the character of Snow White. It's all very confusing. So Snow White, watch it or don't watch it. Snow White, more like no white. Am I right?
Here's the thing is like the obvious thing is that these live action films, these live action remakes of of the animated classics, it's just another way to get more money out of an intellectual property you already know or you already own, right?
And to retain the rights to the
and here's the other thing though is Disney has a lot of what I would like to see is I would like to see Disney take some movies that they made, like they made some live action films in like the 60s and 70s and early. There's a 1981 Walt Disney Productions film called Condor Man, which is about a superhero called Condor Man, and he's like a super spy or something very similar to Batman. I want to see that movie. Give me a remake of that movie. Dig back. I think The Cat from Outer Space is a Disney movie. Give me a live action. Well, that was a live action, but give me an update on The Cat from Outer Space.
Take some of the live action movies and make them animated now.
Oh, you could do that too.
See? Like
it was a Disney film.
What we love about Disney. Yeah. That darn cat.
No, The Cat from Outer Space.
No, I was just saying that darn cat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that I could use a remake.
The Cat from Outer Space, whose name is Zunar J5/9 Doric 47.
That's such a nice, dignified name for a cat. I love when a cat has a nice, normal human name like that.
Like Zunar J5/9 Doric 47.
Yeah, my cat's name is Sam. It's very similar.
It's very similar. His Earth name. What was the cat's Earth name? I don't even remember the cat's Earth name, but I remember
Jerry.
Jake. That's his name, Jake.
Oh, I was kind of close. Jerry, Jake. That's basically the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only have one more movie on my non-horror. Shall I get into it?
No.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have no idea how this wound up on my radar, but I am thrilled that it did. I think I will be watching this many times until it inevitably becomes one of my favorite films. I think there's a potential. I feel like I just met somebody on a dating app and everything is so going so well that like something's got to screw up, but like I have to see them more to know if I really like this thing as much as I think I do. The Holy Mountain from 1973. It's an Alejandro Jodorowsky
You've
film.
never seen The Holy Mountain?
I had never seen this movie.
Have you ever seen El Topo?
No.
Have you seen any Jodorowsky?
I was about to say, the only Jodorowsky I've seen is the documentary about how his version of Dune did not get created.
Holy
and I have
shit.
A lot of stuff.
Michelle, Fondo Elise, El Topo, The Holy Mountain, Santa Sangre. Fuck, I had no idea you hadn't seen any Jodorowsky.
And it's just one of those things that like it's never like I've never heard anybody be like, here's a thing I'm a really big fan of, and it's Jodorowsky films. And then I go, oh, I should go like watch one of those. I think this was just like I stumbled across The Holy Mountain in like a list of older movies that don't get enough credit for being good or something like that. Like that need more of a modern audience.
It's also fucking bizarre. It's like everything.
It's beautiful and strange and kind of funny, and I have watched a whole bunch of like film analysis of it because people are like, yeah, you're kind of wondering what this movie's about, but it's not really about anything, but it's also kind of about a lot of things. And I love it's very open to interpretation. It gets very meta. I don't even know how to describe this movie for anybody who's not familiar with The Holy Mountain. It's an alchemist who takes 7 people to a holy mountain, and you're learning what these 7 people are all about. Like they come from different planets, and so it's like kind of like showing off these different lifestyles for a while, and that's kind of fun. Like one of those old like Tex Avery cartoons where they're like modern living and like they show you what it's like to live. So and then it just gets weird. Like they're just going on an adventure. I have no idea. Do you have any idea how to sum up this movie, JD?
No, you can't sum up Jodorowsky.
No, and I
Jodorowsky,
think
by the way,
plays
plays the alchemist in that film.
Yes, that I did notice because I went to IMDb because I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? This was the thing I randomly put on. I was just like, oh, I heard about this movie once. Yeah, sure, and I have learned now, with this being my first true Jodorowsky film, with the other one being a documentary about Jodorowsky, not actually a movie he created, that I cannot just casually put on a Jodorowsky film. Well, because this, wow.
To be, yes and no. There are a couple films that he's done that are just more like straightforward drama films. There's one in 1980 called Tusk, and then one in 1990 called The Rainbow Thief.
Okay, I won't watch either of those.
And then I'm not too sure about his 2013 film, The Dance of Reality. I've been told that his 2016 film, Endless Poetry, is a little bit... Like, those two movies, I guess, are kind of more autobiographical than anything, but still kind of weird. But those, like, the three that he made between 68 and 73, Fondo Elise, El Topo, and The Holy Mountain. And then he did a movie in 1989 called Santa Sangre, which means Holy Blood. Yeah, those four films will just fuck you up in weird ways. There's like, El Topo is like a gunslinger thing, where there's like a guy going through the Mexican wilderness looking for like these famous... It's the classic like samurai thing where you're going around fighting individual battles against these like specialist gunslingers or whatever. And he's the star, and his actual son plays his son in the movie, who's just riding around naked on a horse with him. Like, Jodo is dressed, his kid is naked. It's fucking weird. But and when I saw El Topo for the first time on like a third generation dub of a dub of a dub that I bought from an advertisement in the back of a horror movie magazine, because you just couldn't find that shit anywhere at that time in the 90s, early 2000s. It's fucking wild to me, the kind of things that we went so far just to get rough copies of and be able to see, that are just available in pristine condition now. And it's awesome, but it's just fucking... A lot of people don't know how good they got it, man. I think it cost me $40 in 1998 to get a copy of El Topo.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's too much money.
It was fucking worth it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, Jodo is a trip. I had no idea you had not seen Jodo.
This is like when you learn that I had never seen anything by Takashi Miike, and it started like, I started watching everything and being like, oh wow, I really love Takashi Miike, and I had no idea. I think that's going to be what's happened with Jodorowsky, because just this one movie, I was like, that was art that I loved so much, and I have no idea what I was even really watching, so now I have to watch it a second time. But I also didn't want to rewatch it immediately. I wanted to give it time to like cement, and now it's been a couple weeks, and I'll probably go rewatch it and still have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah, and Holy Mountain especially, because he does a lot of interesting visual things in all of his films, but Holy Mountain especially has so much like every shot, every angle, like the set design is involved. Like there are extra layers going on here. It's that kind of thing where like it pops in color, and there's all sorts of like weird sort of like arcane occult stuff going on. It just creates this really fascinating atmosphere. I think it's The Alchemist. It's been a while since I saw the movie, but the dude with the crazy fucking hat, who appears in a lot of well-known like still frames for the movie. It's just weird fucking imagery, but classic stuff that like you see things now and it's like, oh yeah, that's interesting, but fucking Jodorowsky did that same thing in 72, you know?
It feels like a surrealist painting made into a movie.
Well, and that is, yeah, it's quintessential surrealist filmmaking, yeah.
Yeah. I am realizing that I really like surrealism. That was kind of like a funny way to say that, and I didn't even... I am realizing that. Surrealism.
Have you seen Un Chien Andalou?
I know this name, so hang on.
It's a short film by Salvador Dali and Luis Buñuel.
Yes, we just talked about this a couple months ago because I watched it. It was that silent film that seems so edgy, and it was from like 1920, 1930 or whatever. Yes, so I have seen that.
The close-up of eyeballs getting sliced where they just used like actual pig eyeballs or cow eyeballs.
Yeah.
From a butcher shop.
And I like that stuff.
Yeah.
It's real weird. I had kind of an awakening of myself with Jodorowsky, because I had no idea. I was just putting it on and being like, okay, I guess I'll watch this, and like put together a puzzle or play Sudoku on my phone or do something like mindless.
You can't do that with Johto.
Yeah, I've learned. So I have learned.
Johto is that mad god level of shit where you have no choice. You have to pay attention or none of it will even approximate making sense.
Yeah, no, I very quickly restarted the movie and then paid attention because I went, oh, okay. I thought it was like old classic drama film with a lot of dialogue and that I wouldn't care too much. Then I went, nope, this is a life-changing movie. Let's start this over and try again.
I would, my personal recommendation would be to do El Topo next and then Santa Sangre and then go back to the beginning with his first one, Fondo Elise, because I feel like if you have an understanding of where he was going, Fondo Elise is easier to appreciate because it's definitely a first effort where he's still just trying to find his voice and who he is. But yeah, those two though, El Topo and the Holy Mountain in 70 and 73, just a fucking double whammy of insanity and awesomeness.
Yeah, I will absolutely be watching them.
I'm pretty
Hopefully I'll
sure.
watch them in September.
I don't remember exactly how, but I'm pretty sure the Beatles were involved in financing El Topo. And then I don't, maybe, or not necessarily the Beatles, but like somebody who worked for their management company. I don't remember the connection, but I could go on about
Bugs?
What?
The Bugs?
Yes, the Bugs.
Really like
Michelle.
Jodorowsky? That's crazy.
I could go on and on about Johto all night. Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, that was actually my last thing because literature, I'm just holding off until next month. I have been reading books.
Oh, that's
Just all the
right. You're
ones
only
I'm really-
halfway.
Yeah, I'm halfway through a lot of books, including one that I'm very disappointed in myself because I did plan on having it done by the Michelle in Review. I'm doing the audiobook and I only have about a half hour left, but I've just not been in the mentality to like pay attention to an audiobook. You know, you have to be in the right mindset of like,
Yes, you do.
I'm in an audiobook. And it was recommended by our friend of the podcast, John Humphreys, and it's Yep, that one. And it is a Spanish book, and we all know that I am bad at the Spanish. But I'm almost done with that one, and I'm going to have some thoughts, but we're going to have to hold off till September because I have to finish the book first. There's some big things happening in this last chunk. You know, as books do. They generally have, like, a big ending, you know?
Yeah, they build to a climax.
Yeah, exactly.
Like fucking.
So, yeah, exactly. I am currently edging with Monstria. God. Why doesn't it sound the same when I say it?
How come it doesn't sound like that when I say it? It's one of the fucking funniest lines in the history of cinema.
Like, this is the most frustrating thing.
Spell
that I
it
know
for
how
me.
things Monstrilio. See, it's not that I don't know the word.
Monstilo.
Oh wait, no, hang on.
You know what? I don't care. It's not that important. I was
Okay.
going to try and genius my way through it, but
That's fair.
sometimes I
Yeah.
forget an hour and 45 minutes in that we're actually recording a podcast and not just having a conversation. So.
Yeah, that's fair. So, Monstrilio, that will be for next month, and hopefully I practice saying that title out loud over the course of the next month, and let's see if I can say it correctly. I'm so bad at Spanish. You have no idea.
After
So,
how many years?
Oh, well, now I've stopped my Duolingo because
I know.
they went all AI, but it was 3 years of Spanish. So,
3 years.
yeah. Plus 2 years in high school. But I'm not good at the L's.
That's Monstrilio. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I can't say it.
Monstrilio.
Monstrilio.
Yes.
Por favor. Okay. I think I just talked too fast for Spanish. It can't keep up with me.
What?
Oh.
You
No,
talk too
it's a
fast
joke.
for
It's a
Spanish?
joke.
Okay.
It's
fair
a
enough.
joke. Okay. Okay. Well, that's all I got. We
That's all you
covered
got?
a lot of ground. Like I said, there wasn't a ton of different things on this list. It was a ton of things that I had a lot of stuff to say. So
Cool. No, that's awesome. It's another solid Michelle in review. Next episode coming up for us is, I believe, the new Sean Byrne film, Dangerous Animals.
Yes. Which
I've been
excited for.
Dude's got 2 movies before this one, The Loved Ones and The Devil's Candy, both of which I have seen, both of which are very different movies. And so I'm really curious. I'm pretty sure, though, this one is one that he just directed and didn't write. Is that correct?
I do not know.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get to the episode. But that's where you'll hear us again. If you have any questions or you want any information about any of this stuff, hit us up on the social medias. It's just at We Watch Shudder on Facebook and Instagram. We don't do X anymore. Because fuck that. Email, mail at wewatchshudder.com. Michelle's phone number is 218. Never mind.
Shout out to Karen, who has been emailing me squelches, by the way.
Karen!
I keep meaning to respond to her. I've met her at many events, but the fact that she's saying me squelches, I have to respond to your latest email if you are listening to this. I'm just very bad at following up at stuff because I'm too busy squelch hunting.
Too busy squelch hunting.
And
all right.
and stuff.
Well, the dog is looking at me like he's about to start barking at me, and my bladder is telling me that if I don't finish this soon, I'm going to swim in my underwear. So say goodnight, Michelle.
Oh, okay. Good night, Michelle.